I picked on it because it was sort of unique. Here, we noted that you couldn't tell who is winning in one station and who's losing in another one, because at some point, Jacob is running the show, and then suddenly he loses in some points, and then he starts picking up and running the show in some areas, and then goes on like that and runs the show. At the same time, Dr. Ruto is losing somewhere, and then he picks up and runs the show, just like that, and then all over like that. So you can't tell, at the end of it, the real performance in this constituency. So what they were doing with that kind is to flip the results. And by flipping the results, you can easily see that now this column, which was belonging to Raila, is now belonging to Ruto, and this column that was now belonging to Ruto is now belonging to Raila. And these are the servers, the IEBC portal results that we picked up from the public portal that they told us to pick up from. They are the ones who told us, add them by yourselves, use your calculators and get your results. We did that, and so these are the flips that were there. In these flips, you can easily see that what is lost on one side is gained on the other side, and what is gained on one side, like here, is lost on the other side. And with that, what they were focused on is the final tally. So the final tally gives Jacom a loss of 823, and Dr. Ruto gains 823 votes. And that flip has worked perfect, with very minimal view of what has been flipped. But the issue is, there's now a wide difference of 1,600 votes that you can see there. Because if one person is on the other end of the negative, and the other person is on the other end of the positive, the gap is very wide. So in that case, we are talking of a wide gap of 1.6, or rather 1,600 votes. This is another type of manipulation that was there, and this is exactly what took place in Central Province and parts of Rift Valley. So Central Province had a lot of swap votes, and then Rift Valley also had that kind of swapping of votes. But in places where they realized we could take only just this bit, they were doing exactly that. So that was my analysis, and you can see it. Maybe if you want to confirm, you will go later and confirm by yourself, but I can take you just through this Tabaj one, and then you confirm by yourself. Where is Tabaj? Here. Let me close Msambweni because I'm done with it. In Tabaj, the server results are revealing that the Right Honorable Prime Minister, these are his column. This is his column. And this is Dr. Ruto's column. This is David Mwaure's column. And that is Wajakoya's. So when we look at it, these two columns not affected. But let's look at the other Bomas results now in Tabaj. I hope I still have internet. Let me check. I hope they haven't attacked us again. This is the problem I was having earlier. Anyway, they can't beat us because I have it offline as well. So, Tabaj is in Wajir. Yeah, Tabaj is here. Let me pick it from offline and show it here. Here now you can easily see that on the server is indicating that these are column belonging to Jacob, and this other column belongs to Ruto. While on this one, you can now see the 95, 9, so on has changed and has now turned to this other side. So basically, that's what happened. And you can even see that the final tallies are now swapped. Here it is 8, 9, 12. And Jacob now, Ruto has now 9, 7, 35 from the portal. That is the data used to declare the president. While here, the 9 belongs to Jacob, and the 8 and 8,900 belongs to Ruto. So it's a swap, giving a loss of just that. That's another type of manipulation. Now I'll take you to the, I think, 2 more types of manipulations, and it will guide a little. I want to go to Mavoko in Machakos. So Machakos, Mavoko, we have everything faring on well from the beginning. As you can see here, the Bomas is reflecting exactly what the server is reflecting. It's reflecting all the way until when you reach some level. And you know, they are smart. They don't affect it at the beginning because you may identify earlier. It is affected at the end of the data. So in this case, it was like Jacob gets his normal votes, but Dr. Ruto is added 100 votes in some stations. And to this point, he ended up gaining 3,600 votes for free, just like that. Now I take you to Oljorok in Nyandarua because I want to pick a few from places. Oljorok in Nyandarua. Now, for those who normally say that probably Jacob did not fare well in Central Province, you can see here that the server results are indicating the Jacob's values in hundreds, and Dr. Ruto's also in hundreds, like that. But now, with just a thought that we need to be uniform throughout, they decide to remove all the hundreds and leave him with tens only, so that in Oljorok, he's having only tens, and wherever there's hundreds, they get and take that 100 and add it directly to this other side. These are not my data. These are not the Secretariat's data. I'm standing here on behalf of the ODM Secretariat, not me. So those who came late, I am not a whistleblower. I am just a person who is with the Secretariat and explaining the data that was there. So, in this case, you will note that it is like whether the other person gets 200 and the other person loses 100 doesn't matter. As long as it is flat, tens, and the other person gets their hundreds. So here you can see he goes ahead and even gets 200, while Jacob loses 100. Now this is another type that showed up in Central Province. And so in this Oljorok, he lost 4,200 votes, and Dr. Ruto gained 4,400 votes. Yeah, so we are... I'll not take you to the original forms because I've already showed you where to find them. They are here. But trust me, we are working with a team that they crash it, we raise it, they crash it, we raise it. So, lastly, or second last, before I take you to Rift Valley, is Othaya. I have also Othaya here to check on. And you can note that here they decided now to do it. I think these were now the last minute rushes to bridge the gap, meet the constitutional threshold, declare president, things work. So here it is take 100 and add even from the beginning, and then where you are tired, stop. So they got tired there and stopped and everything. And they realized also that on this other part, he was faring well, and on this other part, he wasn't faring that well. So it was like give him a standard outcome of tens, and Dr. Ruto gets a standard outcome of hundreds. And with that, 6,800 votes lost and 7,100 votes gained. Yes, so I want to take you to Mwea, where I have an issue with the forms there. Mwea is found in Kirinyaga, I think. Where is Mwea? Here. You can see Mwea almost looks like, yes, in the servers, there were these values here, and then there were these values here for Dr. Ruto in the servers, but they are very questionable servers. In this part, I want to take you directly to the forms and see some of the mischievous things that were happening in the forms. So let's go to one of the forms. This, I want to take you first to the IEBC form at the Bomas. Here, you'll be happy to look at it and say this data was done well. And here we have 71, 92, 78, so on. And Dr. Ruto gaining 317, this and that. And when you look at it, the form looks clean. Nothing mischievous on it. And if you look at it, this is still okay. This is how their results were looking at, like at the Bomas. And then you look at it and everything is fine. Until now, Jacob is given 12,912 votes versus Ruto's 75,000 votes. But let's look at the whistleblowers form and see some mischief that somebody was doing before they could upload the values to the IEBC servers. If you look at it, on the other side we have 71, but look at this. This is 171, and it's not even 171. There was a cut of some values that were superimposed on a result that was here. So that cut was foolishly done, such that it did not cover every data. So in this case, only IEBC knows the values that are lying behind this 71, 92, 78. Only them would know. Nobody else. And you can see that in this case, there were hundreds being gotten here, and there were also hundreds being gotten here. But now when you go to IEBC portal, in the server, in the Bomas, it is clear that it was rectified, and now Jacob is given his 71, and Ruto has his comfortable 317. So even if he lost in Mwea, even if he lost in Mwea, then we have here hundreds and 300 is even seen here. We have a 300 seen here, we have 200 seen here, but this 66 is not part of this 2, looking at it keenly. This 66 is not part of this 2. There must be a 2 and then 2 more values behind it. So this happened at the Bomas. And when you look at it, at the end of it, the results addition do not reflect this with those cuts. And you can see those cuts were even made on this particular data, this set. This is normally the hardest image to edit. This image is called JPEG. The JPEG image is one of the hardest to edit. We can edit easily what is called a bitmap image, and the bitmaps are these ones. This is a bitmap image, but this is a JPEG image. So how they edited even a JPEG image and superimposed data on top of it is still very questionable. So that happened in Mwea. And from the look of things, what was happening in Mwea there is probably what was happening in very many stations in Central Province. So that's why IBC is the only people who can tell you the actual values found in Central Province. Lastly, is to take you to where now things were done blatantly. It's like we don't care. We are doing it and we care less. Here, I'm taking you to Tarbo and Tinderet in Uasin Gishu.